It is quickly getting to that time of year where you want to improve your golf ready for 2024, or even for the upcoming finals you may be in with your friends and at your golf course and on a weekend. So we're going to hit you with a few things today that can help you hit longer, straighter and just better golf shots, especially with your irons. So how can I do that? How can I make sure that I hit my irons closer to my target? That's ultimately the goal with an iron. A driver, you want to get it as far out there as possible, but with an iron, you want it to go a certain yardage every single time. So in order to do that, we need to be consistent. We need to deliver consistent impact factors at consistent speed, and we'll get a consistent ball flight. So one of the big things that people generally do struggle with is, first of all, where to start the ball. So a really good way that you can work on this is, right, if I stand behind the ball here, I know the flag here is on the left-hand side. The miss zone is to the left. We do not want to go right. So I'm just going to kind of use my dominant eye here and put the shaft up and pick a point to the left-hand side of this green, a few inches in front of my ball. So I've picked this little kind of bright spark of grass here. So I'm going to square the club face up to that. I'm not thinking about the target anymore. This is now my target. So once I've squared that up, what then happens to this club face? Because I see so many golfers who take the club away like this. They've been taught to get the toe of that club up in the air. Now the issue with this is that club face is no longer square. A lot of you may think that club face is nice and square, and as I turn through I whip the hands over and the toe of the club points up again, and this is how I attack the ball. Now that may have been how it used to happen with old clubs, without modern day shafts, without modern day lofts, whereas now we have the technology to be able to keep that club face squarer for longer. What do I mean by that? I don't mean square to the target, I mean square to the natural arc of rotation around the body. If you were to move your hands around here, you'll see the hands don't go straight back and straight through, they move nicely around the body. That's exactly what the club face does. So I want to make sure that club face stays nice and square to that arc here. So if I take that club away, you'll see the leading edge of that club is actually matching my posture, matching my spine angle. If I were to stand bolt upright, that would be square. If I was to go at 90 degrees, that would be square. I can't really go at 90 degrees to be honest, but I'm trying. So it wants to be in relation to your spine angle. So that might be dictated by your posture, and that's where we need to make sure we're in the right setup, the right stance, the posture is correct. If you've got the correct posture, then it's a lot easier to make a more repeatable, consistent golf swing. So I'm going to line myself up to the target, what we said here, and this is imperative because it gives you a little bit of a reference point as to where you're aiming. I hate seeing golfers do this. What on earth are you achieving by doing this and thinking that all of a sudden your eyes are down here and that you can see it this way? Because it's very, very difficult to gauge anything from that. I would say if you're practicing, maybe pop something down to help you with your alignment, maybe put something down to help you behind the ball so you can see where your natural arcs come in and where you want that club to go. But generically from here now, I would start to practice this with nice short golf shots. I'd make sure that I take it away, I get that club nice and square, and even from here, just working the club through here. You can see that ball's gone bang down my target line. It's not gone very far, but my club face again is parallel to my spine angle, to my posture there. It hasn't whipped through. I haven't gone all the way through here and thrown the toe of the club up in the air. I haven't held it off massively there. That's one of the huge things that can help you stay in control of this club head. So now I might hit it a little bit further. Again, I think about keeping that club face nice and square, maybe set it a little bit more this time so I'm working more on that golf swing. Again, that's gone pretty much straight down my target line, just a little bit further, and you'll see how low those balls have come out. They've come out nice and compressed. Why have they done that? A, because the club face is nice and square, so I'm presenting a nice dynamic loft to that ball. If the club face was closed, it would kind of not launch and launch left, and if it was open, that'd obviously go high right on you. That's what you're bringing in if your takeaway is poor, because then you're relying on the hands flipping over, you're manipulating the golf club, and you're not going to get the consistent rewards that you want. So all of a sudden then, I would do that quite a lot of times. I'd get loads of range balls and just work on that. That's the best way for me that you can work on your ball striking and your accuracy. Then start to get it into a full swing. It might take a couple of practice sessions to do that, but if I can work on that, then generally I should be able to keep that club face nice and square. And if the club face is nice and square, I can keep the shaft just moving forward through the ball. I can get the handle forward, get a bit of forward shaft lean, that de-lofts the club dynamically a little bit. You can see how all this is tied in. Guys, go back and watch this video again and start taking a few notes on what you're going to do at the driving range or when you go and practice. But it's a really good way of compressing the ball better. A compressed ball won't have as much movement on it. The spin axis won't be as off kilter. And then as soon as you start to hit full shots, you can see again that's a nice low 7-iron straight on my target line. The strike wasn't perfect, but I don't mind because I'm still thinking about the drill. I'm still thinking about getting that club face square, loading it up and trying to keep it nice and square throughout the motion. Guys, Chris has got a fantastic drill for us to do that takes 5 seconds, and it can massively help you improve your golf for the coming season.
So guys, we need a drill for the driving range. We need something for you to work on through this winter. And again, obviously coming up to the winter, you need to start to think about this. What are you going to practice? How often are you going to go? And you're not just going to go and beat balls and hit the driver. Again, small motions like James are always the best. If we're trying to change a movement, doing it at slow speed to start with is always great to begin with, and then from there, once we become more comfortable with that movement, we can start to build speed up, and just like James, we can hit a full shot. And this is where obviously it's all about what kind of practice you are doing. So even hitting 5 small ones and then a full shot, you'll be able to bed that in and get that working. Again, one good way for you to sort this out is use 2 other clubs down at the ground. So again, pick a target on the driving range. James has said here, obviously the pin is on the left, so I'm going to go just to the left of that. I'm going to set this up now so I can get my ball position and mainly my face square, because what do we see a lot? We see a lot of people think, okay, I lose the ball to the right, so do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to aim a bit right and I'm going to close that face, because in my swing, as I come back down, I'll open the club face and that will neutralise it out. That will square it up, and that's not correct. You're still going to be hitting a glancing blow. We're then going to open up both sides of the golf course. If you square everything up, you're going to hit it 40 yards left. If you do manipulate it, you potentially could shank it. You could hit all the dreaded shots we don't want to hit. And again, people then might think, okay, I hook the ball, I'm going to have my face open, because I've seen a couple of videos or a couple of drills where they say, right, if you do miss it to the right, if we set that club face a little bit open, we can really encourage that rolling of the hands. Let's get that club face closing. And you see there, this is not releasing the club head, this is twisting your arm. So we can see we're twisting the forearms here. We wouldn't want to see that through impact. We wouldn't want to see that club face close and rolling over. It's very hard to time that, and we want to rely, yes, on some timing in the golf swing, but we don't want to have a day where, oh, my timing was good today, I've shot to my handicap or I've shot under. The next day, your timing is nowhere near, and we've shot over 100, we've shot nowhere near your handicap. So, first of all, this alignment stick or club that you've put down is to help you square that club face up. So, from face on as James comes around, we can start to see that I can match that club face with this alignment stick or with this club. We can also make sure that my hands are just ahead of that shaft and covering the shaft that's down on the ground. If I start to see it's open, I can see that nicely, because a lot of people don't practice with a target with anything down, and you could hit a great shot, you're just aiming right, you hit it 40, 50 yards right, and you think, oh, I've drove at that one. No, you haven't, you just haven't got your alignment right. So get this club face nice and square, matching the shaft, hands are then covering that, and then we work on that takeaway that James mentioned. Here I'm just wanting to make a move away. I'm going to get the club head to cover the club on the ground, and then from there I know that is matching my spine angle. I'm not here with that fanned open because I wouldn't be covering that club. I wouldn't be getting any kind of feedback. So nice and easy, we can set this drill up, and if we set this drill up and do it consistently, small motions to start with, and then once we're comfortable with that, we can make a full shot, get that face square, and we can help you hit crisp iron shots just like that one just left of the flag, and that's going to really help you get good at golf.
Cracking divot, that. Lovely divot.